Welcome to Dreamland Chronicles. I'm your host, Noah. Thank you for choosing to join us. Before we begin, find a comfortable position, set aside all your tasks, and let's enter a state of tranquility together. Firstly, let's take a deep breath together. Inhale slowly, then exhale gently. Repeat a few times, allowing your breath to become deeper and more rhythmic. Now, use your senses to feel every part of your body. From head to toe, notice any tension or discomfort. Just acknowledge their presence without striving to change them. As you continue to breathe deeply, let's alleviate the tension in your body by gradually relaxing your muscles. Starting from the head, moving downward, gently release each muscle. Feel that comfortable, light sensation, as if an invisible, comforting hand is gently embracing you. Shift your attention to your thoughts. Don't strive to eliminate them. Just let them quietly float by, like clouds drifting in the sky. You are merely an observer, unaffected by these thoughts. Let's take another deep breath, absorbing tranquility and peaceful energy. In this moment, you are safe, serene, and anything can wait until tomorrow. Thank you for participating in tonight's scientific relaxation moment. May you have a peaceful night and sweet dreams. Now, as you drift towards sleep, I'll hand the microphone over to Nicole to tell us a story.
To become emotionally stable adults, we must start by accepting emotional instability, anxiety, anger, irritability, frustration. These are commonly labeled as bad emotions. Traditionally, there's been a notion to overcome and avoid them as much as possible. Scan through articles online, and you'll find associated words like get rid of, go away, farewell, eliminate when it comes to bad emotions, and the Japanese drama quartet. There's a line that goes, "Why do we say it's bad weather when it's overcast? It's just overcast. There's nothing wrong with it." Likewise, emotions are just emotions, so why label some as bad? Recent studies suggest that this tendency to shield and punish oneself for negative emotions can be termed emotional shame, where feeling uncomfortable is seen as a personal failure. In fact, individuals who accept their thoughts and feelings without labeling them as bad or inappropriate often exhibit better mental health compared to those who treat bad emotions as flaws to overcome. Seeing the bright side of life frequently can be a strength, even a bravery, but if pursued excessively, we might end up blaming ourselves for not reacting perfectly to events. It's natural for people to want to avoid uncomfortable feelings like disappointment, worry, anger, or sadness. Yet recent psychological research suggests that negative emotions serve useful purposes in our lives. We need to recognize the value of these emotions, accept them uncritically, and thus foster better mental and physical health. It's important to note that accepting negative emotions here doesn't refer to severe depression, anxiety, or other chronic mood disorders requiring professional help. Instead, it's about transient clouds that may linger for hours or days in our lives. These brief emotions don't pose a threat to our long-term well-being. but we often treat them as formidable enemies, preferring to avoid them at all costs. Italian philosopher Larry Gasperi, in her new book, The Secret Life of Emotions, points out that attempting to suppress emotions only adds shame and onto our existing negative emotions, while also fostering jealousy towards those who seem happier. She writes, I took a long time to understand that being emotional doesn't mean being volatile or imbalanced. Instead, it means experiencing the world in a vivid, open, and sensitive state. Gaspari's insights are anecdotal, but a series of scientific studies corroborate that emotional shame can indeed harm physical health. Before delving into this research, please rate the following descriptions based on their frequency, ranging from 1 never, almost never to 7 often, always. A wealth of evidence suggests that we can achieve self-fulfilling prophecies in many aspects of life. For instance, in medicine, we know people's perceptions of bodily symptoms like pain can alter their actual experiences and even affect our physiological responses. But our emotions work similarly. Rather than altering the feelings themselves, changing how we perceive them might improve the experience and long-term effects on our health. The feeling of disappointment might be unpleasant, but you'll find it helps us learn from mistakes. By attributing a more positive meaning to this feeling and acknowledging its potential utility instead of deeming it unhealthy, you might change how your brain and body respond to despair. A study conducted at the Max Planck Institute for Human Development in Berlin attempted to prove this point. Participants were asked to rate various emotions such as tension, anger, and sadness based on their unpleasantness and then assess their appropriateness, usefulness, and meaning, 3 dimensions reflecting how the participants viewed each emotion. Overall, participants who saw positive value in negative emotions exhibited better psychological and physical health indicators, including lower risks of diseases like diabetes and cardiovascular issues, and even greater muscle strength. In fact, the ability to find value in unpleasant emotions nearly neutralized the impact of 3 weeks of negative emotions on participants' health. A wealth of evidence demonstrates that understanding the potential benefits of emotions can significantly influence their effects. Take anxiety, for instance. While we might view anxiety as undermining our focus and performance in challenging tasks, we can also perceive it as a source of energy. Actor Robert Pattinson uses this strategy to ease nerves while filming. Recent scientific research also suggests that this emotion can enhance our performance in short-term challenges like difficult exams or public speaking. Long-term, it might even reduce the risk of burnout. Anger similarly holds expectations of its effects. We might think setbacks will quickly deplete our self-control, but we can also see it as a motivating emotion that strengthens our resolve to claim what's rightfully ours. These mindsets will influence your performance in tasks like negotiations, as observed by the Max Planck Institute. Scientists are still exploring how our perceptions of emotions affect physical health, but a growing body of research on the physiological effects of emotion assessment has proposed some credible mechanisms when faced with a stressor threatening our well-being. We're more likely to experience significant fluctuations in hormones like cortisol and inflammation. While these physiological changes help prepare the body for short-term threats, prolonged durations can lead to bodily wear and tear. If we view every bad emotion as inappropriate, shameful, or potentially harmful, we'll exacerbate our vulnerability and isolation, thus amplifying and prolonging physiological effects. Reassessing our own emotions to recognize their intrinsic value can alleviate this additional pressure and even provide a sense of empowerment and autonomy. This might mitigate our physiological responses to coping with emotions and help us recover faster, overall reducing stress on the body. A longitudinal study involving over 28 individuals shows that our interpretation of emotions may have significant long-term implications. Participants reported their levels of psychological stress and anxiety, as well as whether they believe stress would harm their health. These expectations seemed to determine their mortality risk during the study. Those experiencing high stress and believing it harmful had much higher death rates compared to those experiencing stress but without negative expectations. Before drawing this conclusion, scientists controlled for other lifestyle influencing factors such as income, education, physical activity, smoking, among others. Of course, this doesn't prove causation, so this finding should be approached with caution. Yet it aligns with the overall pattern seen in short-term studies, all suggesting that how we interpret emotions is as crucial as the emotions themselves. The start of the new year might be an optimal time to put this subtle understanding of emotions into practice. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, the weather gets colder and wetter. Returning to work after New Year's celebrations could be a harsh reality. Some might find themselves in a January blues, feeling bored, down, and sad, even when yearning for a better life. Don't blame yourself for these feelings. Try accepting them calmly and allowing yourself moderate self-care to counteract the negativity. Instead of battling the emotions themselves, you can try asking yourself if these emotions also hold value. Perhaps they'll lead you to discover changes you can make for the better. Sometimes, we go through periods of despair where hope seems absent and all possible support feels precious. However, overall, our emotions aren't black or white, nor are they strictly good or bad. Instead, they manifest in various ways. By paying attention to these subtle differences, we might find life's challenges more bearable. Feel free to adjust as needed for your narration.
Now, as we conclude our time together, may the serenity of this moment linger with you through the night. Remember, you hold the power to create your own dreams, filled with wonder and possibility. Rest deeply, knowing that tomorrow holds endless opportunities for growth and joy. Until we meet again, sleep well and embrace the beauty of your own imagination. Good night and sweet dreams.